I love RVing for the places you get to travel to, but if you need cell phone or if you want internet, you better come up with a plan. How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Welcome to another All About RVs. Today we're going to be looking at internet options that RVers have and being able to have a good, strong cell signal. We've come to rely on it so much, whether it's being able to work from the road or have emergency contact when you're out there, or just being able to stay in contact with friends and family. There's a lot of reasons to want to be able to have a consistent connection to internet and to be able to have a strong cell signal. And maybe you want to get out there and you just want to turn it all off, but being able to have that option can be really key at times. So I'm going to share with you today what we use, where we get our information, so that you can come up with a good plan to stay connected and to be able to have these resources available to you. I would say that the most popular solution for having internet on the road is usually going with some kind of cellular option. So we have a Jetpack. This is a prepaid by Verizon. This is a plan that we heard about through the Mobile Internet Resource Center. So that's one of the first things that I want to pass along to you guys, is where we find our information for which plans are good, which plans are coming out, which ones might be expiring, and what's the best plan out there currently. So I'm not going to waste the time and go through all the details of the current data plan that we have, just because they don't offer it anymore. But really the big resource that I want to pass on to you is the Mobile Internet Resource Center. Their website has all the information to help you make an informed decision for what is out there currently. They do a really good job keeping up to date and keeping people informed with the deals that are out there. So like I said, that's where we found out about this prepaid plan. There's been a few changes to this plan since then. So if we didn't have this one, currently the one that I would probably do is it's on the AT&T network. I'll put a link down in the description to this plan too, because it's a pretty good deal if you're going to be going full time and you're on the road. So it used to only be available to Airstreamers. It's an antenna that you can buy for $400, so you have to buy into their hardware, and then you can for $360 a year. So it basically comes out to $30 a month. So I know a lot of full-time RVers that are out there will do multiple different plans. So they might do one with Verizon and then one with AT&T, because if there's a hole in the map somewhere where Verizon may not be covered, maybe AT&T can kind of fill that gap so they can continue working and have the ability to move around. So the Mobile Internet Resource Center is going to be the place to find out all those different plans and what's current, and if you need to do third party or whatever that is, they have an excellent resource for finding out those plans. Selecting your plan is just one side of the equation. You want to make sure you have the fastest speeds and or the strongest signal. So the plan that we have implemented into that is, first off, we just see what we can get without any booster, without any additional antenna, because this has multiple in, multiple out technology built into it. So this is a 4x4 MIMO. What that means is this thing is able to talk to the cell tower with 4 streams going in and out. And because of those multiple streams being able to talk to the cell tower, that means that we get much, much faster speeds than if we just had one channel. So if we just plugged in the booster all the time, and this is connecting through the booster to the cell tower, it might actually decrease our speed and we wouldn't get near as much. So that is the first round. We just see what we can get with our Jetpack, and then we go from there. If we need just a little bit boost in signal, we'll use something like this inexpensive antenna. This is only like $32. Why not start with something simple and inexpensive? So this has the ability to plug into the 2 ports on the bottom of the Jetpack, and it still takes advantage of some of the multiple in, multiple out. So this is really our first wave of trying to boost the signal. One of the problems with using this is it only helps the Jetpack. It doesn't help your cell phone or anything like that. So if this doesn't quite cut it and we're still not even really able to get service, then we will try a booster. Boosters have been very popular with RVers. WeBoost, Solid RF are some of the better ones that I think are out there. This one's by Solid RF that we have. It usually comes with an outdoor antenna, something that you can mount outside. Some of them are directional. This one's omnidirectional, so we don't actually have to point it towards the cell tower. we just stick it up and it kind of grabs signal from all around. So it has this, and then it connects to the inside components, which is this guy here. So we connect that antenna into here, and this is what is going to boost that signal. It takes the signal and it re-amplifies it inside the RV. So we have an outdoor antenna which isn't obstructed by the RV, and then this is supposed to boost the signal. You need to be near it when you're using your device, but through this antenna, it's going to rebroadcast that signal inside of the RV. But like I said, these cell boosters, they can really restrict the speed at times. Sometimes they can help it, sometimes they can hurt it. So you really have to see what your situation needs, and it really depends on just about any location. For instance, like this location we're at right now, oftentimes we'll be bouncing between 2, maybe 3 bars of cell signal, but our speeds have been really high without doing any kind of antenna or booster. So we may not have the strongest signal as far as bars, but that doesn't matter as long as we're getting a really good fast speed out of it consistently. As far as these signal boosters go, I would say that WeBoost has been the benchmark for a really long time. All the boosters are really constrained by the regulations that are out there and how much they're allowed to boost the signal, but we see different antenna options and different ways of trying to boost as much of the signal as you can with sticking in those constraints. So WeBoost has a few that are just, RVers have loved them for a lot of years. Now I'd say the biggest competitor is the one that we have, is the Solid RF. I think it is extremely comparable to the WeBoost. They do have a little bit slightly different antennas that they're coming out with, but you can usually get the Solid RF for about $100 cheaper. So I think both of them are great units, and it's nice that we have some competition out there because these things are really expensive. I love to see the competition to bring the price down on some of these things. That's really our plan for staying connected with the internet. Sometimes we need to do tethering with our phones, and that works well too, but the backup plan that we have when we have 0 cell signal, the antenna doesn't work, the signal booster doesn't help out because we're just so far out that there's none of that. If the RV park or a different business where we're able to connect to Wi-Fi is available, then we do keep this on hand. This was on our RV equipment we don't use anymore. We do keep it on hand, but we just haven't used it for 9 to 10 months ever since we got the jetpack. But there has been in the past a scenario where there was just no cell service whatsoever, but we were still able to connect to the RV park Wi-Fi. There's so many reasons why RV park Wi-Fi is usually the worst. For one, it's usually some kind of an open network. 2, everybody's trying to connect to it and they're trying to get a slice of the pie, so it's pathetically slow. But when you need some kind of connection and this is your only option, this does really well. We've reached out almost a half mile down to be able to get Wi-Fi. We did a video on this. This cost $100 along with the router that goes inside the RV. But it is our last resort for being able to get internet and connection inside of the RV. It works, but it's definitely not our first choice. But having a plan set up to where this is your first choice, this is your second choice, this is your last choice for being able to have these things to be connected to if you're dependent on it for work. You want to have a plan and you want to implement that plan the best way you can to get the best speeds and the strongest signals so you can make those emergency phone calls when you need to or use the internet when you need to work. So I think that's going to do it for today. That's our plan for how we stay connected and keep the fastest speeds and the strongest signal. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about RVing, more tips and tricks, please hit that subscribe button. And if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you in the next video.